Alright, you want to fix PlayStation or Xbox, and there's a bazillion of them out there on YouTube, going from stupid towel tricks to various heat gunning techniques, and some guys actually spent the money and bought reflow tables, which is nice. But if you ain't got $1,500 and you want to do some repairs that really work well, here's how I do it. You'll see here on my workbench I have a heat gun. It's got multiple heat settings. It is from Harbor Freight. I paid 29 bucks for it. What you see next to it is a Presto hot plate. Because one of the things that a flow station will do is it has what they call a pre-warm table, which heats up the underside of the board. It heats the whole board up nicely and even, which is what you need to do a good flow job. And you'll see on this one here that I have various pegs sticking out of it. We'll zoom in here a little bit. Right now it's set up for Xbox. I also have it drilled for PlayStation, and this first video we're doing a PlayStation, so I will be taking out those and putting it in for PlayStation. What you want when you look for the heat gun is the digital readout one with plenty of heat settings. I'll show you that. I'm wearing a coat because I'm out in my workshop. My workshop really doesn't have any heat. It has various heat settings, various here to do. For PlayStation, I set it at 650 degrees, and for Xbox, I heated it at 550 because the Xbox will heat up quicker than the PlayStation chips. And I'm really not going to show you how to take apart a PlayStation because, well, if you can't find a video how to take apart a PlayStation, then you're not looking. So I'm going to get this set up for PlayStation. I'm going to get the PlayStation apart and get the board mounted on here and show you what to do from there. Alright, now I got it mounted on the heat pad there. I got it at an angle because now we're going to flex it. You can get these eyedroppers on eBay, 50 of them for like $8 or something like that. Just do a searcher for plastic eyedroppers. I use liquid solder flux. What's great about it is the right consistency for doing Xbox and PlayStation. Some of the stuff you get evaporates before it even gets up to temperature. So you don't want that. Plus this stuff here, even though it's a non-clean, it stays in the underneath the chip, so if you ever have to heat it again, which you will because they fail again eventually, you only have to add a little more flux before you do it. But basically just take and use the eyedropper and add it a little bit at a time to each of the chips. Make sure you get it underneath the CPU and not underneath the heat sink or heat spreader that's on top of the chips. And basically you let it go in there until you start seeing it come out the other side. Okay, here comes the flux. Alright, she's out. A little wipey to take off the excess because you don't want it all over the place. And we're ready to plug her in. Down a little bit here. It's important to have a clock. You got to have a clock in order to get these things properly. So I have a clock on the wall up here. I'm going to set it on warm for about 10-15 minutes to let it all evenly warm up. You want to be careful and let this warm up good. Another good thing to have is a temperature probe gun. You can get some cheapy ones. This one here is from Harbor Freight. It costs just as much as that heat gun does. But we're going to let that sit and warm up for about 10-15 minutes or better. And then we'll start turning up the temperature. We'll take it right up to 350 degrees for, on a PlayStation especially, you're going to want 10-15 minutes. Keep checking the chips because you want to get these above 100 degrees as much as possible. And with the Xbox, 10 minutes at 350 and it's at 186, almost 200 degrees. But the PlayStation, this thing here dissipates the heat so well that you'll never get a true reading off of that. But trust me, it's plenty warm, because by then you'll see the flux bubbling around it. And I'll show you that once I get up to temperature.